Yo, my Star Citizens and new gamers, welcome back to another episode of Star Citizen with me, Menix. And in today's episode, I'm going to be looking at 3 ways of mining, 2 of them around the space station, 1 of them on the planet, and see which one I find best. This is going to be solo mining, so we hope you like this video, guys. If you do, don't forget to take that point, so tickle that like button, hit the bell and subscribe notification, run the intro. So what we're going to be doing today, guys, well, today I'm going to be doing 3 locations of solo mining with a prospector. You can do this in a rented prospector that you can get from a space station with a refinery, but I'm going to do it in my one that I bought and upgraded. So I've upgraded the mining head and I've added 2 modules, and I've also updated the quantum drive. But this can be done without as well. And so the places I'm going to be looking at is L2. It's near some space station. It's a space station and it's near some planets. So I'm just going to be going out the space station, heading into a direction and just mining. Then I'm going to do the same with L5, which is in the middle of nowhere. So you're not near any planets or anything like that. But it does have some good refine bonuses. So I'm just going to check that out. And then the last one, I'm going to go down to Walla and try around Walla and see what we get there. Because I see a lot of people going mining down in the planets and stuff, but for me, I want to know what's best. So a lot of people will also say about using the Dynix or the Ferron method of refining, but I've been working some stuff with it, and I found just go with what you feels best based on your time. So if you want to get your refine done quick, then you can choose one where you're going to lose a little bit more. And I found some of the others are just better because I was losing one with a Ferron or a Dynix, and it was taking either 8 hours or 24 hours and costing a really low amount, like 4,000 or 5,000. But I found with somewhere you could losing around the same, only 1 to 2, and you was getting it in half an hour to an hour, or maybe 2 hours max, and you was paying around 9,000. So there wasn't massive differences in it, and I was going to get it sooner. It meant I didn't have to wait around. And obviously, if you're going to be turning off your machine and you're just going to leave it overnight, then obviously choose something like the Dynix or the Ferron, because you are going to get the best outcome with that. But if you want it quick within a couple of hours or 20 minutes or something like that, then there's nothing wrong in choosing something else, as long as you weigh up the bonuses. And I do say that in the video later on, weighing up them bonuses of what you're going to lose and calculating that with the cost altogether. And so yeah, so don't just choose Dynix or Ferron. Have a good look and a good think about what you want to do and calculate how much you want to lose. One thing to keep in mind is when you've got a half unit, it will always class that as a full unit as well. So if you've mined 150 gold, that's going to class it as 1 SCU plus a half SCU. But actually what he's going to give you is 2 SCU. So keep that in mind as well when you're doing these things. So let's get into this video, guys. Okay guys, so here I am at L5, and I'll show you where that is on the map. Go up from here, L5, here we are. It's pretty much in the middle of nowhere, same as what this one is, which I think is her L5 over here. So the routes I'm going to be looking at today is I'm going to be sticking around her L5 here doing some, then I'm going to go over to L2 and do some, and then what I'll do is I'll go over to Ariel over here. I think it's Ariel or Lyria, it might be actually. Yeah, Lyria over here, and do some. So I'm going to do planet side at Lyria, I'm going to do space side here at Hurston, and space side here at Hurston, sorry, at L5, and then space side at L2. Now there is the Iron Belt around here somewhere, but it takes some skill to get to it. You've got to know your numbers and heading in certain directions. So I'm not going to do that one. If anyone wants to sort of point that out in the comment section, they can do. So the reason I'm choosing L5 should I say at the moment, is because of the charts that I'm looking at. Now, my belief was always going into the new versions of this game that it was better just to hang around a station that's got a refinery, and rather than going to planet side, because of the journey going to planet side and that, and then looking around planet side, it was just better to come out of a station, look around the area, do some mining, and you're back at the station really, really quick. So if you're getting anyone comes along to try and pirate you, you quickly switch your nav mode to switch your master mode to nav, and you just jump back straight to the space station because you're nearby, so you can outrun them. Whereas if you're planet side, it's going to be a little bit more difficult doing that. But the other day, I was actually doing some mining on Walla, and I found some really good rocks. So it made me question this, and should I relook at it? So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to relook at this whole thing, and that's why I'm choosing here, here, and here. And I'm going to show you why I'm choosing them now. So I've got this cheat sheet from mining from Red Monster Gaming. He's so much better at mining than I am. Check out his YouTube channel. I'll stick a link in the description. And so he's obviously way more pro at it than I am. I'm just going off what I have learned. And so this is what we're looking at. These are the top, what they call top tiers. So the top 2 tiers. So this, or the top 3 tiers, I think they'll call it. So your Quantanium is your first one, because you can get 25 or 23,000 per unit SCU of that if you can find it. Then you've got the tier 1, or tier, so that's the ultimate tier. And then your next tier here is these 3 in gold, in green, and these will bring you around 7,000 to 8,000 per unit. And then you've got the Agricium, Beryl Boss, Hephaestonite, Laranite, which will bring you around 2,000 to 3,000. And then these ones we don't really touch. The aluminium and copper and corundum and stuff like that we don't really touch. So this, I'm going to put the link to this in the description as well. And so while I was looking at this, and when I look at rocks, I'll have this to the side and I'll look at whether it's worth getting the rock or not, because I don't know these off by heart just yet. And when I was doing that, I was looking at other things, and I was sort of talking about to myself about is it better to be around a space station? And I was just looking at the different things. So here's ore percentage by location in space, and I was looking at ArcL2 here, and I was seeing the numbers here and the types of rocks here, the CE, MPQS. I'll show you them in a second. And I noticed that on ArcL2 they're missing. And then I was looking at like the Quantanium's 4% chance of getting it, and then 14, and then 19 is the Terranite. So that's quite a high one. And so I was looking at that, and then I was looking down the list and seeing L5. And what I was looking at here as well was I'll show you again another thing I was looking at, which was the percentages you get from the bonus percentages you get for refining to that area. But I was looking at L5's bonuses earlier, and then I went to have a look, and I noticed that they do these other 2 rocks as well. So I just thought maybe I'll take a look over at L5, and that's why I'm there at the moment, rather than ArcL2. I'm going to look over at L5. And so I'm just looking at the numbers of the 2, and if we look at ArcL2, they're pretty much similar numbers up until the Terranite here at 14, but it's 19 here, 11 to 14 here, 12 to 14 here, and 4 to 4.9 here, 4.2 to 4.9 here. So they're not that far off the numbers. Yeah, we're going to get more of these, like the Laranite and stuff like that, but we won't be really picking much of that up. Well, especially this stuff we won't, but these we may do. And so I was looking at that, but then I was looking at the percentages of the surface, which I'll go off in a minute, and the deposit types of the different rocks. And like I was saying earlier, the rock types, the Q and the S here, these 2 are included in the L5 ones, where they're not in the ArcL2. So these are your chances of getting these. So that's why I thought I'd check this out. And then I was looking at the refinery location bonuses. And if you look at ArcL2, we're getting 7% extra on gold and 2% on Bexalite. And then not really much on that. So I was looking at L5, and it's just green across the board. 12% on Bexalite. So if we're getting Bexalite, we're getting 10% more on the Bexalite. We're not getting much more on the gold, where you get 7% here, but you're getting more on the Agricium, Boreas, and Hephaestonite, and these we're not really going to touch. But so that's what sort of brought me to this area. I just thought I'll give it a chance around this area. If I'm just going to be space station mining, then why not try that one? And so like these are the rocks as well that I was showing you. And then we're going to be going to do some surface ones. And what I was looking at was Walla here. So that's what I'll probably go to, Walla. Or I may ended up going over to somewhere like Uterp or something like that. But if I'm going to be near a space, I need to be near a space station with a refinery. And so that's why going around near Walla I'm near Arc L2. So what we need to look at is make sure where we're at as a refinery. So make L5, it does, as you see, and Arc L2 does, here as you see, and one. So we just got to look at that basically. And so that's why I'll probably stay around where there's a refinery nearby and go to Walla when I do the Planet one. So that's this. You can go and have a look at it yourself and have a good deep dive into these numbers. And this is what I use when I go mining. So I'm just going to grab that and I'm going to move it over to my other side in a second. I'll move that over. Right. So I'm over here at, spinning it around. I'm over here at L5 at the moment, and so I'm just going to mine around this space station. Now, some good things about this one is it's in the middle of nowhere, so there's not a lot like planets nearby or anything like that. So you may not get ganked as much. And the bad thing about this is it's in the middle of nowhere, so you're going to need something that can get you there. Make sure you've got a good quantum drive and stuff like that for getting there. And then obviously make sure the ship that you use for cargo afterwards can get you to wherever it is you're going to sell your cargo, whether that's ArcCorp or Microtech or wherever, whichever one's the closest, or even Hurston. It's sort of in between the three. Maybe Hurston's the closest or ArcCorp. So it's sort of in between them all. And so that's where we're at the moment, and that's what I'm going to do. I've got just short of 600,000. I was doing a video earlier of making 1 million while mining, and I got to 600,000, but then I bought a new lasers and stuff like that. So yeah, and I'm going to show you the ship in a second. Right. If I go to the ship, sorry about all these boring parts to begin with, guys. I'm going off people maybe that are just new to it, maybe first time watching, or just want to know the difference between the mining from planet side or mining from the space station areas. And I know, like I said earlier, there is better people out there, but some people just like my content and my voice and stuff like that. So right, so let's get the... See, I've already brought over my ships for cargo in case I need them. And I've got my Prospector. Let's show you what I've got. So what I've done is I've put on a new cooler. I put on the Snowfall cooler. Power plant is the same one. And I've changed the quantum drive to the VK00, which is basically a type size one, a grade one, military one. So it's really, really good at getting away fast. But the downfall to it is it doesn't travel very far. So, but that's okay for when we are doing planet side. But around this area where we're at, we're not too really bothered about it because we're not going to be traveling too far. And shield generator is just the same. So that's that. And what I've done is in the utilities, I bought a Helix 1 mining laser, which cost 100,000. And the reason that is it's got quite a lot of power with it. And with that, you also get 2 sub slots, which I've put in an XTRL module here. And what that does is it's going to take the charge window, the green part of the window, up by 22%. And it's going to filter inert materials by 5%. But it's going to take the extraction laser down by 90. And then I've got the second slot here, which is the filter X. And the filter X is the extraction laser down by 95%, and the inert materials gets filtered by 24%. So that's that. That's my 2 modules. I don't know if there's any difference between swapping these two. So if that was in slot 1 or slot 2, I don't know whether they're parallel or whether it's just overall on your full amount. So like if you put that there, would that be 24% of the 5% that's missing here? You get what I mean? So would that be 5% off after the 24% has been taken, or is it 5% of its overall inert materials? I'm not too sure, so I'll just leave that. I'm not an expert on that stuff. So that's the Prospector solo mining. Is it better to stay around the space station? And if so, which space station. I'm not going to go through them all, obviously. I'm only going through the 2 and see if there's a big difference with the bonuses that you get and the rocks around it. And then planet mining over at Walla, taking into consideration time and stuff like that. So let's get into this. See, I don't know my way around L5. I've never really been here, so I'm not going to explore it too much. There's a food place there. Now, I know a lot of people like Arc L2 because of the certain bonuses you get there and the certain equipment you can buy there, like the modules and stuff like that. And the reason Arc L2 and Arc L1 used to be good is because around 3.17, the best way to mine was to go down to Lyria, and in the Arcorp area, and buy and mine the rocks there, because they used to have a lot of quantanium in the rocks there. And I don't know if that's sort of ingrained in people's heads still, that's the best place. And that's why I'm trying this one here. I'm going to go down, I'm going to have a look at what equipment's here as well. So if you can't get the equipment I've got, then you might have to go to other places. They are on that site that I showed you. It should just show you all the places where you can buy all the equipment. So have a look at what equipment you want. You might want something that has more power and less filtering. You might want different modules. You might want a different laser head, mining head. You just go through them lists and have a look. So let's have a look what equipment they've got here. So you've got your mining heads here, but we're going to look at the screen in a minute. And then you've got these devices here. So the Stalwart, whatever that one is. The Stalwart, Borex. We'll have a look on them thing in a minute. But these things here, you can attach them to the rock. So I'll pick one of these up and we'll attach one to the rock, or try to attach one to the rock. It's a bit fiddly. I know you can do it on the ones on the planet side, but I seem to be struggling to do them on the ones in space. So I'm not too sure. I'm going to grab myself a drink and put it in a backpack. So I'm going to buy that backpack there and that armor set there. I'm just going to have a look what they've got here, because all of them have different things in different places. So let me quickly buy the backpack first. Quick buy, because I'll put the unit on the back of it, you see. And then we want armor. It's also go for that one, and we'll stick that on then as well, so we can stick the back on it. I'm not going to get the arms and all that stuff, don't need all that stuff. So let's go into I, press that, and then once that does come up, we're going to throw that into the backpack ready. That's in the backpack. And then what we can do is buy one of the gadgets as well. And so what the gadgets will do is they'll help with things like the laser powers and stuff like that, and clustering. So let's have a look at what they've got. Utility, and we're going to have a quick look at the mining modules. Let's have a look at the mining laser heads first. So we've got the Lancet, the Bow, MH2, Hofstede, the Impacts, the Klein, the Helix 2. They've got the Helix 2 but not the Helix 1. So the Helix 2 is a size 2, so it's not going to fit on your ship. So you'd have to go somewhere else for the Helix 1. I got mine over at Arc L2. And it cost 100,000. So let's have a look what they've got in the gadgets modules first. So you've got active and active and passive. Active means you get so many uses of it for a certain amount of time. So this one will last 60 seconds and you get 6 uses, and then you have to replace it. So you'd have to spend 1.9k on it each time. And that's going to take your power laser up by 150%. And then it's going to take the catastrophic charge down by 60%. You've only got 2 slots with your mining head, or the one I've got. So I'm just going to look through some of these. I prefer the passive ones rather than the active ones. So I've filter module. I think I've got the XL on that on mine, so the one up. And there's a focus 2 here, so that takes it up by your optimal window, your green window, up by 40%. So that's a good one to have. The filter 3, the torrent 3, optimal charge rate, so your green part fills quicker. And then we're looking at Vox. Extraction laser power 125%, so you're doing it faster. And then the exterior LRs. Your optimal charge window is up, and yeah. So the stuff I've got on mine, you'll have to get from a different place. I've got the filter XL, and I can't remember what the other one was I showed you earlier. So you might have to go to get them at a different place if you want them, but you can just sort of set up your shipper you want. You can also hire ships here. You come over to here, and you can hire the Prospector. So if you want to just try it, you can't add mining heads and stuff like that to them though. You can only use the bog standard as far as I know. That's how it used to be. I don't know if they changed it in the latest edition. But for one day, you're looking at 73,000, and you'll definitely make that back in one outing. So let's do this. Oh, that's what I was looking at them as well. So we're looking at utilities. I'm looking at gadgets. So we've got the wave shift, and that's going to take the optimal charge window up by 100%, take the laser instability down by 35%, and optimal charge window rate is going to be 30% slower, but you're getting a bigger green window and the laser instability, so the laser is not going to bounce as much. So optimal charge window size is going to be 50% bigger, and the resistance is going to be minus 50%, and the instability is going to be up, so it's going to bounce and bounce. So your resistance is I think how far up you've got to go on you'll see when we're pulling the mine laser how far up that is. Someone will have to correct me if that's wrong. That's what I take the resistance as. And then we've got the bore max here, which is going to take the laser instability down by 70%, so it will hardly be jumping. And it's going to put your cluster modification up by 30%, and the resistance is going to be about 10%. So a cluster modifier, basically, when the rocks break up, you're going to have clusters, better clusters of certain materials. So say if it was gold, it's not going to be as spread out as much, by 30% less. And then the stalwart, laser instability down by 35%, cluster modifier plus 30%, optimal charge window up 50%, optimal charge window size down 30%. So you're going to have a smaller green window, but it's going to go up faster. You're going to get a cluster modifier 30% and a laser instability of minus 35%. So I'm going to go for this: laser instability down, optimal charge window up, and optimal charge window rate down. So it's just a bit slower, but that's not too bad. And so I'm going to buy that. It's going to cost me 19 grand. And I'll show you how to attach them. If I don't do it here, may have to do it planet side. So that's that. And what you do is you grab that, and it just attaches to the bottom there. So let's get out of this place. So what we're going to do is we're going to check the time, how long I'm out there for doing the first run, and what I get back, and I'll explain like the refining to you and how much it costs and stuff like that. And then what I'll do is I'll write that down to how much we would get for each of the units. Or what I'll do is I'll sell them separately. Now, I think it's going to be around here. Also, when you come to a place, make sure you go to your clinic, find the insurance things, and set your spawn point here by clicking it, and you'll get one here that's not reset location, but it'll say make that one your location, basically. Right, so let's get my thing out. So I've started my clock now on this. And let me quickly show you. So what you have to do is bring your prospector, so it says retrieve here, and then F1, and we're going to go over to the vehicles here, select it in here, prospector, and this is where you'll change it here. You'll go to utilities and you'll change your laser here. Here you'll change it, and then here you'll change your spots, and then at the bottom it'll come here and say save changes, so remember to do that. You won't do it if your ship is already out. It has to be stored.
Welcome to the ASOP vehicle retrieval system. Vehicle selected. Stand
Hangar 2.
Vehicle has been delivered. Please visit.
There she is. There's the laser. I don't know why it's looking down. And then there's the modules there, the 2 modules. Now my bag's there, yeah. Earlier on, I crashed into something and took my bags away. But there's the mining head laser, and there's the one of the units. I don't know if that's the other unit next to it there. Now if you get active units, you'll get so many uses of them, like 5 or 6, and they'll last so long, but then they'll drop off and you have to go and buy fresh ones once you've used them. I said I'm not an expert, so there's probably some better people out there that you can learn this stuff from. Turn ship on. Request takeoff.
Hello. How can this help you today?
Now, with master modes, if you keep hold of B, you've got your nav mode. Once you've got in nav mode, you can't use mining mode. Just so you know, you can't use mining mode, but you will have your shields will come up, and you will have weapons in. You won't have shields in nav mode. You'll get no shields, you don't get no countermeasures, and you don't get no guns in nav mode, so you lose all your shields and stuff like that. So you're better off setting your priority to your thrusters, which I would do. Power thrusters. And if you switch back to fight mode, what I call fight mode, which is the gun mode, keep hold of B, you'll then get your shields, and you will get your guns, and you'll get your countermeasures as well. But you can't quantum anywhere. So, but you have to be in this mode for fighting, for using your laser. And you'll see that if I press M now. Oh, come on. And that's that. Just so you know. And then what we're going to do is, I'm just going to come out of here. I'm just going to point in any direction where there might be some rocks, and just going to scan, basically. So let's go into scanning mode. You can press V to go into scanning mode. And what we're going to talk about here in this scanning mode is you've got your signal here, your scan process, and then you've got your PIERC, which is, I don't know what it stands. I don't know if it says Pierce, but it's, I can't remember what that one is, but that one's infrared, that one's electromagnetic. I'm not too sure what the R is, and that one's cross section. So basically these here, that's what that stands for. And what you're going to do is, if you're used to the old way of mining, we used to have a 360 scan, and then we could narrow that scan rate in. And so if we roll our mouse wheel up, we'll see there the pace has gone up and the signal's gone down. Now, what that's done is it's took my focus of my scan to 2% or 2 degrees in front of me. So it's going to be quite short here. If we scroll it down, that's going to be a full 360, so all around my ship, which is going to give you a bigger ping when you press tab. And so when you're doing your initial looking around, you want it on 0% to get that full ping, and then when you want it more focused, you're going to roll your wheel up and you're going to ping again, and you get more focus target, and then fully to get it clearly in front of you. So that's that, and I'll go through some of the rocks and stuff like that here. Now there is some signatures you'll find, and they will come up here on the side. Over time you'll get used to them. I don't understand them fully myself, but I do know a 1700 is a good one and a 3800 is a good one. It's generally two good rocks next to each other. And so yeah, so let's go out, and we're just going to point in any direction and go forward. And just going to keep scanning in the 36 degrees mode, 360 degrees should I say, until we start getting some targets. And they'll start popping up at around 14, 15 kilometers away, 15,000 should I say. So there's one there coming up, there we are. And we'll just keep popping this until we get close, and you can see now this is a 600 signature. Now if this says IR or something else, then it's going to be a ship, but this will be a couple of rocks, maybe 3 or 4 rocks, this one. I'm a bit wary about boosting at the moment because there seems to be invisible rocks that keep killing me. I keep crashing into them, so I'm a bit wary about what I'm doing, and that's something you're not going to get with the mining on the planet. So it's 6 minutes and we've found a couple of rocks. So we've got this one 3 kilometers in front, and then another one there 12 kilometers away. So we've got our next target as well. And here they are, here the rocks coming up close now. So if I went like this and took my PS up, you can see now you can focus in more. And then I'm going to press M or say mining mode on my thing, and that'll get my mining mode. Now, my landing gear is down, so I'm going to put that up because it's going to restrict my thing. And let's see what we've got. Let's just point at them. And while we're here, you can see these are the modules I've got. So you can see it's a passive module. This is going to filter 24%, but the extraction rate is going to be lowered by 5%. This is going to filter inert materials by 6%. And it's going to have an optimal window of 22% bigger, but the extraction rate is going to be down by 10%. And then my mining head has 70 on the resistance and minus 22% here on the window size. The other thing with the mining head is that's the lowest power, 20% laser intensity. You can't go to 0, it stops at 20, just so you know. So just be aware of that with this head. You can't take it fully off. Now this is a little problem we're having here. Clusters of rocks not scanning or showing up. I've been doing this for about a day now and been getting this. It's just like it just doesn't recognize the I've tried turning off the laser and back on.
Mining mode off.
But that doesn't seem to do anything, so
Fracturing mode on.
nothing I can do. And if I fire my laser, you see it'll just fly, go through it. There's nothing. It's like the rock doesn't exist. So back off to the next one. Keep scanning.
Mining mode off.
Hopefully we start seeing some rocks now. So there's one of them there, I can see. Not too sure what that is. Not sure. But there's the rock anyway, so let's scan this one.
Fracturing mode.
Now you can scan just normally. So this is 40% Taranite, 40% Taranite. We're looking at about 10 Taranite. And if you look at the list, Taranite is 7,600 per unit. Let me just bring that up for you so you can see it. See Taranite here, 7,600 per unit. And so what we're looking at here is here, once it does it, I'm looking here. So this rock is 22 SCU size and 40% of it is Taranite. And so I say with that, we're looking at about 10. It's close to 50, so I'd say around 10. We might get between 8 and 10 Taranite from it. So it's definitely worth breaking this one down. So that's what we're going to do. And so having a look here, you've got your optimal place here. So that's where you want to try and get to. Remember what I said about your charge here. 20% is the lowest. So what we're going to do is we're going to fire our laser, and then we're going to make sure we've got it stable when we're going to move forward and backwards and make sure it's stable when this is at 0. So when the laser is at 0 or 20, we're going to make sure that the green line here is stable and doesn't move, and then what we'll do is we'll push the power up, and then we know just to back the power off fully, and it'll be stable once it's in the green. And that's it basically. Let's do it. So we've got easy here, some that can go up to impossible. I don't really look at the numbers too much of what they are, and it's an M asteroid as you saw earlier in those that list that I was showing you. So let's do this. Let's fire the laser, and we're going to move forward, get to that optimum up in the top right. That's too much, so we're going to back it off, and you see there now the laser is creeping up, so I'll back off a little bit more. Just going to back off a little bit more, and I want this to be stable and not moving too much up and down. So that looks like it's stable there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold left alt and just scroll up my mouse wheel a couple so it starts going up again, and then once it gets to that green optimal zone, I'm just going to back it all off. Back it off there. If it starts going up, I'll back up. I realised my mouse was moving. As you can see, it's just bouncing in that area. If it goes below it, I'll just knock it up 1 or 2. If it starts going to the red, I'll back up. Right now. I'll just let that rock bust. Just give it a little bit of time. I don't want to get too close because it will damage my shields. Normally they're instant, but sometimes server lags and stuff like that. There we go. And so we're going to press the right mouse button and change our to extraction mode, because you saw there they're now purple. When they're purple, it means you can start hoovering them up. So what we're going to do is hover over these and see what we've got. So 16% of 4 SCU is Taranite. I'm going to hoover all of this up because there was only about 8 Taranite altogether. So we're looking at between 8 and 10. So we're looking at about 70,000 on this rock. So I'm just going to hoover it all up anyway. And again, I'm going to try and put my thing here to the optimum. And you can see it filling up here. So how much quartz we've got, how much Taranite we've got. And I'm going to show you another thing here. So even though this isn't a full SCU, when we do refine it, as long as you've got 0.01 SCU in your thing, it will count that as a full SCU and give you the full price. So if that was 0.01 as a unit, it would take the whole unit and we could sell it at 7,600. So just keep that in mind when you're doing your refining, guys. So this is what I call point and click mining, where I'll just go out and I'll point and I'll click and just go to certain areas. I think there was a bonus on, no, it was the Bexalite, it might have been the bonus, not the Taranite. So we've got 7.6 Terranite at the moment. So 8.68. So we would get 9 Terranite from that. Well, we would get 9. Depending on the refine, we may end up with, if we can just get it to we only lose 1 in a quick time, then we could end up with 8 Terranite from that. So again, back into the scanning mode, and let's go to the next one. And so this is what I call point and click mining. We've been going 9 minutes. You don't have to go flying to a planet, searching on the planet, and then back. Once you've got stuff, we literally, if we get jumped now, we're right next to the space station. You can see the rings and stuff of it there. So we're right next to the space station, so we can get back quick. Once we fill up, we can get in quick, unload it, and get back out. But there is dangers with the invisible rocks at the moment. So there's the rock there. So you can just scan it this way. Just keep holding your mouse button and scan it as you get closer to it. Get closer. It's not doing it. So I'll just pull out this instead. So this is an impossible Bexalite 95 SCU. You need some big lasers with that. You need maybe like a mole to grab that. I do try sometimes to switch my laser back on. I do try sometimes putting my laser to full and getting in close. See if that does anything, because sometimes the charge does start up. But not doing on this one. So that's fine. Let's go. So we only need 10 more to fill up. Now we could go and change the bags. We could pick up, I don't know if there's going to be any here, but if we go to contracts here, we could look at salvage contracts and see if there's any moles around and go and swap the mole bags. Arbenjaro. And then swap the bags out, and instead of having 36, I'll show you here, instead of having 36 here or 32 here, you can have 48 on your cargo. But I'm just going to wait until them bags become available to buy. Right, so back to my scan mode. So I won't go to that one because it's too close to the space station, which means it's probably going to be something else. So we'll go to this one, this 13 here. I'll go to this one because I know for sure this is a different one. I wasn't too sure whether them two are the same ones. So take the mining mode off. And we're going to head back to base, basically. And that's how close it is. So let's go into nav mode. So what I'll do is I'll look for the landing pads here, because I would be coming back out. I'm not going to come back out. I'm going to move to the next location, but I would generally land on the landing pads and then move to the next location. Or land on the landing pads empty and then come straight back out. That's what I would do. Okay, so let's talk about the refinery. So you can sell the ore here, or you can refine over here. And so what we're going to do is go to here. We're going to check the Prospector, and they're offering 41,000 for what we've got on board. Now you could do that and just bypass everything else, or we can come here and refine it, which will take time and cost some money, but we'll get a better yield at the end when we sell. So let's do this. So here, looking at the bonuses, Bexalite, Titanium, Hephaestonite, so we don't have any of that. So we're not getting any bonuses here. We would have done if we got some Bexalite, but we haven't, so we're going to select the Prospector, set up a work order. There's a bug at the moment. When you do this, it sort of turns off. When you go to get a quote, it'll turn it off. So I'm looking at the correct method. Now, a lot of people will tell you to go for the Ferrum or go for the Dinix. And what that is it gives you a better yield, but a low cost, but it's really, really hefty on the time. So if you're going to bed for the night or whatever, then that's good. But if you're just playing the game and you just want to get some money up and you're not bothered about you want to get it quick and you're not bothered about the yield and stuff, then check some other ones. Now, one of the best ones I found is this Cormac one, this Cormac method. And so if I was going to do the corundum, the quartz, and the taranite. Now, I'm going to get back, if I get the quartz here, you'll see how that's gone like that. So if I do that and then do it on a different one, you'll see you'll do it on that one now, but it will still include it into it. So if I go get quartz now. So the correct method is going to take 36 minutes. It's going to cost 9,000, and we're going to go from 13 to 8. So we're going to lose 5 taranite, and that's 5 times, that's about 30 grand we'd lose on that. So let's try different ones. Let's try this one. Get the quartz. This is going to cost 29 grand, take 4 hours, but we're only going to lose 2. Because this is going to give us 13, and this is going to give us 11 when it's refined. So let's try another one. Gaskin. 29 grand again. It's going to take an hour, and we're going to lose too much, so it's definitely not on that one. Let's go for the ferron, what a lot of people say. So we're going to cost 9 grand, take 9 hours, and we're going to lose again. We're going to lose 3. 2 we're going to lose. Yeah, because we're going to get 11 from that, and 13 if we didn't. So, and it's going to take 9 hours, which is a lot. Now, if you look at the Dinix one and get a quote, that's going to have the same thing, but it's going to take 29 hours and cost 4 grand. So you've got to sort of weigh it up what you want to do. 7 hours, 4 grand. 1 hour, 4 grand. We're going to lose 5. It's a lot to lose, like 35,000 we'd lose on that. But if we go back to the pirate one, which is going to cost 29 grand, so 20,000 more, but we're only going to lose 2. So we're going to lose 14 grand instead of 30. And it's going to take 4 hours. That's a lot to lose. It's like 35 grand to lose on that. $29 hours, a lot. A long time that. I wonder if we get rid of the corundum, the quartz, and get a quartz. 23 hours. Going to cost 4 grand. So that might be the best bet to do. Let's try the current method on that. I'm still going to lose 5. It's going to cost 9 grand. So that 9 grand could come back from the quartz, and that's going to yield about 4 grand, and that's going to yield another 2 grand. So we're going to get 6 grand back from that, which will sort of almost cover the costs. 57 minutes is going to cost 28 grand, and we're going to get 9, so we're going to lose 4 from that. Lose too much on that one. 28 grand. So I want a low cost one that's going to be quick, but give me a better yield. So I think the ferron's going to be one of the better ones. 7 hours, 9,000, and we're going to lose 2. So that's what we'll do, that one. So you've got to go off what's best for you. Some of them you might only lose 1 and it only costs you 3 grand or something, and it only takes 20 minutes. So it all depends. So we're only going to get the Terranite on this one. So let's try. What are we going to get? We're going to get 11 Terranite. We're going to get 11 Terranites. Let me write that down. It's going to take 7 hours. We use the Ferron. I'm going to write all this down, you see. So from a yield of 13 Terranite, 7 hours, and I think it was 9,000 we paid. And we're going to get yield of 11. So that's 11 times 7,600, which is going to be, once I look at it, 11 times 7,600, 83 grand we'll get back from that. So we would have made 74 grand profit on that once we sell it. 74k profit. So 70k profit on something that took around 10 minutes. So what we're going to do is move on to the next one now. I'm going to go over to ArcCorp and ArcL2 and see what we get there. I've already got some work orders over there at the moment, but so that wasn't bad actually. We got some really nice rocks there with the Terranite, 15 Terranite in the end. Oh, I should say 13 Terranite in the end, but 11 once we done it. So guys, I'm back here after the refining's done. I've already done the other 2 things, but I'm just going to sort of keep these together. So I'm going to go and sell these now. And so we should get, I think, 11 SCU of Terranite here with this one. So the work order's complete, and there we go. 10 point something, which will equate to 11. Now it does say 10 point something here, or 1053 here. But you will notice when we do put it in the ship that there's actually 11 units. And then when we go to sell it, there'll always also be 11 units as well. So that's what we're doing. So I'll jump into the ship. And you'll see here now there's 11. So we've got 3 here, 1, 2, 3, and then an 8 here. And so that's their cargo. So just keep that in mind when you're putting it in your ship as well. So if you've got a couple that, say you had one that was 10.1 and then another one that was 10.2, that's still going to equate to 22 units. So just remember that, guys, when you're putting it in your ship or you're choosing your ship that you need to choose.
Engines on. Launch complete.
Landing complete. Have a pleasant.
So here we are over at Area 18. So I'm going to go to Area 18. And what I did is I put this in my C1 just because the C1 was quicker to get across from L5 to the same place I'm going to be selling all the cargo, which is Area 18. And the trip from L5 all the way to selling it, I think is going to take about 15 minutes. So we add that into the time as well. So I think it was like around 20 minutes for the mining or something like that.
Landing gear down.
And then 15 minutes travel. But obviously you would travel with a lot more than what I've got here, 10 units. You would travel hopefully with 60 to 100 or something like that. Generally I'll travel with a few hundred. All these C2s here. There's a duplication bug going on where people are buying RMC and then duplicating it or something at the things. So let's get in this parked, and then we'll go and see what we got. Watch that wing there.
Landing complete.
So we are on the train, just about to get into the area. And let's head over to the TDD to sell this. So I'm thinking we're looking at about, probably around 70, 80,000 I think we should get from this. Oh, head up the stairs. In we go. Now you got to remember with the numbers, this is out of order. This was the last run I did with the selling it. So, but even though I'm putting it first, it was actually the last run. So you see the numbers, not the good at the top. They'll be like 500 now, but it'll be 300 later on or something because it's out of order. But we can see here what I'm going to earn. So, because we've only got the one commodity, we can see exactly what we earn. And there it is, 11 units, like I said, and it's going to bring in 86,000. Now we spent 9,000 on that refining, so we're looking at about 77,000 profit on that altogether. And I think that was like a 20-minute run, and then the 15 minutes to get it here. So you're talking just around 45 minutes-ish, 40 to 45 minutes, around that sort of time for that run. But obviously you'd do more runs around the space center or space station, and you'd get a few refines going, and then take a bigger ship if you had a bigger ship to transport it, because you can rent bigger ships like the Andromeda and stuff like that. So that's that. And we'll look at the money I've got there. So 583 or something like that. But like I said, that's irrelevant because this one was the last one. And so let's move on to the next one now. Next, I'm going to go over to Arc L2 and do around that area. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a pro and cons at the end of this lot, like as a picture. So here we are, guys, over at Arc L2, Pathway Station. I've just got out my Prospector, same Prospector, so it's got the same gadgets and stuff on it. I've had to change the gadget I got here on my back because I crashed into a mine earlier on, into a rock earlier on when I was doing some mining. What number are we on? 3. And then I woke up in hospital, so I logged off, came back on the next day, and had a level 3 crime stat for some weird reason. I don't know what my character gets up to when I've left, but he must be getting up to some dodgy stuff. So obviously, because of the crash, I lost my stuff, so I've had to buy a new thing. Come on. But all the rest of it's the same. It's the same head and everything else like that. The invisible rocks are really, really just killing us off here. Turn ship on. Turn ship on. Request takeoff.
Hello, how can Miss help you today? Landing gear up.
So here we are. Let's just head off. So there's our first one, and it's a 525. So it's going to be probably a couple of rocks. Power thrusters. There we are. Let's have a look what we got.
Fracturing mode on. Mining mode on.
So mainly laranite on that one. Oh, so this is a straight pickup. Once we know what it is, if it's anything good. Gold. Definitely take that. I know it's only a little bit gold, but even just like I was saying earlier, just a 0.1 would still give us 1 gold when we do refine it. So let's definitely take that.
Extraction mode on.
So literally half SCU of gold would still give us 1 once it's refined. Bexalite as well. Bexalite is worth 7,000, same as the gold. Nearly 8,000. So we'll definitely take that. See if we get two of that, that'd be good. So we've got 2 Bexalite now and 1 gold. So straight away we're on. Once we refine this, we're already on a good 20 grand or something. Once it's refined. So that's that. Let's move on to the next one. Where's our next target?
Mining mode off.
Quantanium. Look at that. That's a big chunky rock there. Half of that is like 25 quantanium. Yeah. That's like nearly 500,000 in that rock there. Now I do have that thing which may take some of that resistance down, so I could definitely try that. Let me give that a go. I've got the thing on my back that might help that, if it lets me put it on. Let's see if I can now use this. There we are. Put it upside down for some reason. It seems to do that. But I can just get myself stable. So what we're going to do is we're going to play. We need the number to be around 90 something. So we're just going to play around with these numbers here. Not easy, but hey ho. Activate. So that's going to give me a bigger window and the resistance down on the rock, so that might work. We'll find out. That was hard to do, that was. Let's have a look, see if it did any difference. If we can get that Quantanium, that'd be a good rock. This would be a good place for like a mole. Mole would probably get that. So that made no difference on it, so there we are. Let's put that back and go on to the next rock. So Monster, the Monster Mining or the Monster Gaming Mining, Red Monster Gaming, they do an app where you can actually put in the details of where this rock is, and then other people can come and get it. But I've not really looked too much into that. Right, let's do this next one. So I wanted to only add about 10 minutes of each thing in here of mining, but I came across this rock, and when I was going back into post, I thought I'd keep this one in because the skill on this one was just unbelievable. I think how skinny the green line was, and I was able to do it without hitting the red. That's craziness when you see it in a second. So I'm just scanning it now, and you see how tiny that green line is. So I was talking through this, but I didn't realise I had my mic muted. And so I have it set. I'm going to set it basically so that it gets to a point where it holds, and that's what I generally do first. I'll get some green on there, and then I'll bring it down to 20, and I'll back off my ship until I get to the point where the green bar is just holding at 20, because 20 is the lowest for this laser. So once I get to the point where the green bar isn't rising or dropping, I know that at 20%, the lowest I can go, my mining laser is going to hold steady for the rock I'm on. And so that's what I'm doing, moving backwards and forwards, just getting it so that it doesn't rise or fall. And once I get to a state then where it's not rising or falling, I'll add more power in. And I know that the moment I hit the green, I can just roll straight back off, all the way back down to 20%. And I know that that line shouldn't move too much from there. But look how skinny that green line is. So we go flying up. Start backing it off. I just want to touch it into that green in a minute. So it's looking like I'm going to be around 24 to get a nice steady beam on it. So I'm going to just raise it slightly, keep dropping it back down as it goes up. 25, maybe up to 26 again. Just want to drop it into that line. There it is. So I'll drop it back down to 24. And I know that that should stick there. And I can drop it up to 25 and 26 and then back down to 24 if it starts going up towards that red. You can see there I'm not hitting any red. and I was absolutely amazed at the skill for that I was able to do that and blow that rock. I was absolutely gobsmacked. And so yeah, so there was some good stuff in this rock. I think it was a lot of gold, I think it might have been. So I'm going to hoover these up, but I'm not going to show me hoovering these up. You can see what's going on here, guys. I'm just scanning the rocks to see what's got the best stuff in it, and then I'll just hoover that up and then take it straight back. I think it's Bexalite, there was some decent Bexalite in it. Okay, so I'm going to just jump this forward again, guys.
Landing gear down.
Head down to the refinery. And so we've got probably a good 70-80 grand in this load. Obviously I'll go and sell this separately from the other one and show you what we get from each one of the loads. So let's have a look what they're going to offer for the raw materials.
See anything you like?
So they're going to offer 45 grand for the raw materials, but we're probably looking at about 80 grand anyway. So I've got 3 work orders, which I'm just going to stick into my Drake Caterpillar. So we'll collect all of that. I want this so it's a separate one. These are stuff that I was doing earlier. Right, so we've got an empty work load here. Here's the bonuses here. So Bexalite 2%, Quantanium 3%, Gold 7%, which is really good because we've got a lot of gold here. So this one could be a good one. So let's do this. Prospector. We're going to do the Bexalite. We're going to do the gold, obviously, and we're going to do the Taranite, obviously, and we're going to do the tungsten Hephaestonite. They're not going to give us much, so that Hephaestonite might give us 2 or 3. It's about 6 grand. It might pay the amount for this that we're going to spend here. And the tungsten is only going to give us 400 or something like that per unit. So yeah, we will leave the tungsten. I'll turn it off and off like that, so then you can see the old ones I do have. The corundum 300, so you're probably talking about another 3 grand there, so we'll do that. And then aluminium, we don't need that. Okay, so we're going to try the Cormac one, get the quote. 31 minutes, it's going to cost 11,700. That's not actually bad, to be honest. That's really, really good. If you saw the other one, the amount we was losing. Right, so we're going to be losing on here, we're going to be losing about 3-4, so we're going to get 8 from this, which is supposed to be 12, so we're going to lose 4, which is a lot. It's going to be about 28 grand. But 28 grand we'd lose from that one. The Taranite was going to still get 1 from that, so we're not going to lose any of that. And the Taranite, so the Taranite we're going to lose 1, and the Bexalite we're going to lose none as well. So we're not going to lose any on the Bexalite because that's only 2, and we're still going to get 2 because they're not, like, it's not a full 2, so that extra there. So what we're going to lose on here is the gold. We're going to lose 4 gold, about 28 grand, and then this here. So let's check another one. We want ones that are going to give us a good thing here. So this is going to be lose 1 here, but it's going to be 4 hours and cost 35 grand. We're going to lose 2, I think, here, 3 maybe. And it's going to cost 35 grand and cost an hour. Going to lose again 15 minutes on 35 grand. It's not too bad. Then the Ferron, cancel that. The Ferron, get a quote. 8 hours and it's going to cost 11 grand. But we're going to lose again. We're going to still lose 1. So the best one at the moment, I think, is that Pirate at the moment, or the Karak.
See anything you like?
The next is going to take too long. So that's 2 hours. We're going to lose 3 on that, none on that, and none on that. So that's good. And then this one, the end one, it's going to cost 5 grand, take an hour, but we're going to lose too much. So I think one of the best ones was, that one was a good one, I think. And I think, so that's going to be 6 hours. No, so it wasn't that one, it was this one, I think. 2 hours, it's going to cost 11 grand, and we're going to lose, we're going to get 9 gold. So we're going to lose 3 of the gold. And the Terranite, we're not going to lose any of that, and the Bexalite, we're not going to lose any of that. So we're going to get 2 Bexalite in the end. We're going to get 9 gold from 12. So we're going to lose 3 gold, and we're going to pay 11 grand. I think that's going to be the best one for this one, and it's only a 2 hour thing. So let's confirm that, and let's get that job going. And then we'll show you exactly what we did with that. So let me write that down. So what we're going to get back is 2 Bexalite and 9 gold, so there's 11, and 1 Terranite. That's going to be the big ones. And then we're going to get back 7 Corundum and 2 Hephaestonite. So we're looking at 4,000 for that, 5,000 for that, 5,000 for that, 2 Hephaestonite, which is going to give us 5 grand. We're going to get back 1 Terranite, which is going to give us back 7,000. We're going to get back 9 gold, which is going to give us back 9 times 7, so 70. I'd say around 70,000, 70k. And we're going to get back 6 Corundum, 7 Corundum, should I say? 7 times 300. So we're talking about 2.5 grand there, 2.5 grand, 7 Corundum. And then we're going to get back 2 Bexalite, so 16 grand there. So 16 grand, Bexalite 2, Bex, 16 grand. So 16 grand. So we're going to get 70, 80, 91. We're going to get about just short of 100k on this once we sell it. So we've done better here because of that gold and that extra gold we got here with this bonus. So we'll come and get that later, and you can see later on what we get for it. So let's go on to the next one, which is going to be Planet Side. Also, I forgot to put on that we did spend 11k then, and we spent 9k on the other one, on the other place, which was going to take 7 hours, whereas this one is only going to take two hours. So up to here, I think here at Arc L2 is better. I'm going to get a better result. I'm nearer planets, and just the stuff in the shop seems to be better. And yeah, and we've got options to go to the planets if we want as well. So I think Arc L2 is the better one at the moment, and that's why people probably like being around here. So let's go to the next one, which is the planet. So here we are back again to get the cargo to sell. Obviously I've already done the mining on the planet, but I'm just going to push this further so you guys can keep up to date with what's going on with each load. As you see there, that other order there, that's the planet one that's being processed, and this is the Arc L2 one that I've already processed. So I'm going to bring this over to my Nomad, and you can see that it says 1867. So if it's going to basically, that SCU is not going to be right. It's saying 19, but because of the half loads, like with the Corundum and stuff like that, it's not going to be a full load. So like the Taranite is a full load. What it's doing there is adding it up as though there was all those point numbers add up into one when you add the point numbers together, but actually the point numbers are actually one on its own. So even though it said 19 there, I think the actual cargo count is 23, and so that's what we've got to keep an eye on. Remember to keep an eye on that, guys, that your cargo load is going to be different. You've got all the point numbers don't add together to make one. They're all individual. If there's separate point numbers, then those are going to be SCUs themselves. As you can see there, 2 missing from the top, maybe 3 missing from the top there. So I think 20, yeah, so there's 1 there and then 2 at the back there from a 24. So that's going to be 21. So it wasn't 19, it was actually 21. So an extra 2 cargo there in that than what it was showing on that system. So remember that when you're picking your ship, guys, that you don't end up with a ship that can't take it. And so here we are over at the TDD. I'll just go into the TDD article. I made sure I came to the same place so you guys could see that the prices wasn't different. And we'll go over to the place now, and we're going to go and sell this. Oh, some naked dude. So let's go in there and see what we've got. So we should get 2 FS Knight, 1 Terra Knight, 9 gold, and 7 Corundum on 2 Bexalite. We should get. I was just checking the, what's it called there? Oh, wrong one. So let's check the Nomad, and you'll see there is 21, not 19 cargo. Right, so that's how much we've got, 289,000. And we'll see what we've got at the end and what we make when we sell it all. So 1 Taranite I see there, yeah. 9 gold, yeah. 2 Hephaestonite, yeah. And 2 Bexalite, yeah. And 7 Corundum, yeah. So all that figured it was right. So those half ones do count as one. So let's start selling this. 7,000 for the Bexalite. Dirt Taranite, should I say? Gold 9, 67,000 for that. We did get the 9. That's good. And then the Bexalite, 2 of those should be around 14, 15 grand. There we are, 15. And then we'll sell the junk last, the Corundum and Hephaestonite. So this should give us about 4 grand, 5 grand, yeah. And then the Corundum, 7 Corundum should give us around 1.5 to 2 grand. Yeah, 2.5. So let's work this out. So the trip to get here was 15 minutes, but I did use a Nomad, so nothing with a special drive like the C1. So it's up to, that'll also depend on the ship as well that you use. The time, it was about 30 minutes of mining time. And let's have a look at our numbers here. So we started off with 289.7 and we've now got 388.6. So we made 99k, but then we spent 11k to mine it or to refine it. So we got 88,000 profit on that one. And so, like I said, the mining time was about half an hour, probably 20 minutes to half an hour, and then the time to get here was 15 minutes. So you're talking about 45 minutes. I think most of the mining time is generally around the same. Maybe a little bit more on the planet because you've got to get to the planet. but then you're not in the safety of the space station being nearby. So 88 grand on that one, 77 on the one from Mikkel 2, or Mikkel 5 should I say. And the time for the refine on this one was 2 hours and not 7, so really much better. And we got more profit from it. Spent a little bit more on the refine time, but it was 2 hours instead of 7 hours, and we made more profit. And we're near more things as well, like planets and stuff like that. So I'm still liking Arkel 2 as the best one up to yet. So what we're going to do now is try the planet, and we're going to go over to Walla. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going to Walla now. I found Walla as one of the best. A lot of people used to go to Lyria, but I was on Lyria earlier and I wasn't keen on what was there. So I'm going to go over to Walla. I found some better stuff over at Walla, a lot more Bexalite over at Walla. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to head over there. Okay, so we're over heading to Walla now. And I do have the VK in here, so it's a faster quantum. It's just not got a great distance, but the quantum fuel is enough to get me to Walla and back. So we're here at Walla. It took probably about 3-4 minutes to get here. We could have already been in the middle of doing some mining or whatever by now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and pick a place that might be in the sunny side, so something maybe like a couple of thousand, maybe, might be what we need. That what lost and found there. Let's go and look over there. And that should take us to the other side of the planet where it's going to be sunny, hopefully. Looks like a few rocks here. So a couple of rocks here. Can have a look. That's going to be probably an impossible one. That's an easy one, but it's all corundum. So don't want that. Don't want all the corundum. This one. Gold, but it's an impossible. Now I could try the thing on that. Resistance is 17%. Massive instability though. Look at these smaller ones. So Bexalite there, definitely going to pick that up because it's a purple. So instant pickup. And it's talking 2.5 Bexalite there on that. There we are. So next one, this is going to be a crackable one. Corundum and a Festanite again. Gold 17. So there's about 8 gold in that. So I definitely want that.
Fracturing mode on.
Go back a little bit. So it stabilizes, which looks like there. Let's back that off now. Put it to 1. Let that drop. It's going to just blow, so I'm going to back off. There we are. Probably lost a lot there, but anywho. A-ho.
Extraction mode on.
So 95% gold of that. So look, like I said to you earlier, even if you just get like a percentage of gold, it's still going to class as 1. There was 8 gold in it, but because of what happened, we may not get 8 out of it. There's this one on the ground which we can't get to. So we got 4 gold. If we didn't get any more gold, we'd get 4 from that. But then obviously once you refine, things change. Beryl. Beryl's worth 2,000 per unit. Bexalite. Now, we're definitely going to go for this one because there's about what? About 5 or 6 Bexalite in here. So let's go for this one.
Fracturing mode on.
I was almost there.
Under attack. Extraction mode on.
Let's see what we got. Don't need that one. We've got 4 gold and 2 Terranite, so we've got some good stuff there. So let's get back and get on with selling this.
Landing successful.
Turn engines off. Let's have a look what they're going to offer here.
Welcome back. We just
Again, it'd
continue
probably
on
be
to-
like 30 grand, 35 grand, something. 41 grand. Let's have a look what we get here. So that's the one we did earlier on, and this is going to be the new one. And on here we're going to take the Bexalite, we're going to take the corundum, we're going to take the gold, we're going to take the tungsten. It's still going to be like 2 grand or something, may up towards that. The Terranite for sure, and the inert materials obviously not. I'm going to get the quote. 31 minutes, going to cost 10 grand. We're going to lose a lot of Bexalite. We're going to lose too much Bexalite. So like you're looking at like 5. So we're going to lose 3. And let's have a look. It's going to cost 32 grand, 1 hour. We're going to lose 2 Bexalite. We're going to lose 1 gold.
See anything you like?
We're going to lose no Terranite. So let's have a look at the electro. 2 hours, 10 grand. We're going to lose again. We're going to get 6. So we're going to lose 2 Bexalite, which is 7 grand each, so 14 grand. We're going to lose 1 gold. And we're going to lose no Terranite. And it's going to cost 10 grand and take 2 hours.
See anything you like?
So let's have a look at this one. Because 5 grand takes 6 hours. We're going to lose too much. So let's have a look. 31 minutes, 10 grand. We're going to lose. We're going to get 5 from 8. So we're going to lose 1 more than the other ones, but it's going to take half an hour less. Corundum, I'm not bothered how much we lose of that. Gold, we're going to lose. We're going to get 3 from 4, so we're going to lose 2 gold. And Terranite, we're going to lose no Terranite whatsoever, because we'll still get 2. So we're going to lose 3, 4 lots of 7. So we're talking 28 grand. 28 grand we're going to lose for that. Now if we go back to this one, how much was that? 32
Anything
grand.
you like?
Gaskin. That one's 1 hour, 32 grand. I mean, it's still 12 grand more, so you might as well go with the Cormac one, where it's going to be 10 grand for 31 minutes. Was it the Cormac? Electro, that was the one. 2 hours, 10 grand.
Finding everything all right?
8 hours is just too much for what you're losing. So I think the Electro, we're going to lose. We're going to get 6 Bexalite out of 8. So we're going to lose 2 there, and we're going to lose. We're going to get 3 out of 4. 3 from 4. So we're going to lose 1 gold, so 3 basically, and then we're going to not lose any Terranite. And it's going to cost 10 grand. Let's do it. 2 hours. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell these separately. So what I'll do is I'll grab this one first, go down and sell it, come back, grab this one, go down and sell that, so you can see them separately. So this is Arkel 2, this is Walla, and then I'll go over and grab the other one while I'm at it and go and sell that. So that's that.
Everything all right?
So let me write that down. Let me write what we was going to get from that. Actually, let me go back up.
Hi, good to have you back. See anything you like?
So I'm going to write that down. And so this work order here, we're going to get 6 Bexalite, which is going to give us 6 times 8,000. So we're talking 60 minus 12. We're talking 50 grand, around 50k for that. And the corundum, we're going to get 2 grand from 2k corundum for 6. And gold, we're going to get 3 gold, and so we're talking 7, 14, 21, 22k gold. Tungsten, I'm not really bothered about. We're probably going to get like 1k from the tungsten.
Can I help you?
And then the Terranite, we're going to get 2 Terranite. So we're talking another 15k there. So we're talking 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 50, 60, 70, 80, about 90k for that run. Minus the 10, we was paid 10k paid. And the time is 2 hours. So that's the runs I've done. And personally, just off them numbers, I think the Arkel 1 was the better run because it's near the station, there's less travelling. It probably took about about 15 minutes. Whereas the MiC L5 again probably took about 15-20 minutes. But then we've got to go off somewhere to sell it, and it's quite a distance to get to another planet. And we probably only made about 80 grand with that one, and the time was just a long time. It wasn't as quick as what we could do here. So this sort of didn't work. It did for us on the gold here, but it didn't work over at MiC L5 with the extra that was there. And then with this one, we're going to make about 90 grand, so more than the other one, but it probably took about 40 minutes to do this one. and then we're spending 2 hours on the way here and spending 10 grand. So for me, just off the numbers off the top of my head and what I've got there, I'm thinking the just around Arc L2 where we are now is the better run. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and sell these, and I'll tell you which one we're selling each time, and add that's the time to get to the station, to the place to sell and that, and then go from there and let you know what my thoughts are on the whole thing. So guys, I'm back to pick up this load now, the final load. So this is the Walla load. I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to put it in the, oh, excuse me, I'm going to put it in the Nomad again. And again, we've got to be careful that this says 19.9, so 20, but I think it works out at 23 with the half units. So it ends up being 23. So just remember to keep an eye on that, guys. Count the halves as full units. So if it says 150, that means you're going to have 2 units there and not one. But the way this is calculating it is that if there's a 50 and a 50, it's counting that as 1 rather than 2. Whereas you would need to count that as 2 when you're doing it and making sure you've got a big enough ship. So I'll grab that work order and onto the Nomad, and let's go and sell it at Area 18. So as you can see here on the back of my ship, you can see there's only one spot missing cargo. So this is a 24 cargo ship, and there's only one spot of it that's missing there. They're just at the back end, but the rest of it is full. So that means there was 23 cargo there, and we'll see that when we get to the unit, to the terminal in a minute. But at the terminal in the refinery, it said 19.9, so 20. So it's unaccounting for 3. So let's get up to this place and go and sell it. All these twos here, crazy. So up the stairs to the TDD, we're going to head for the last time, and then I'll give my thoughts. I think the time-wise for the mining, it's all been around the same, around 30 minutes, 40 minutes. And the time to get to the places has been about 15, 20 minutes to sell it. And I think the cargo we've got, most of it has been around the same. And I think we've been making around 80,000 profit per unit, per load. So they all seem pretty much on par with each other. So it's going to be about what you want in the area, whether it's easier, whether there's more rocks and stuff like that. So let's go through this and see what we've got here. So the Walla one. So you see the 2 Taranite, the 3 gold, 7 corundum, 6 Bexalite. Definitely those half units would definitely count as 1. So let's just sell all of this and then we'll go through. So it took a 2-hour refine and was 10,000 to refine it. So again, all pretty much the same, apart from the 7-hour one with the MiG L5. I think that was the biggest downfall for that one. The MiG L5 having a 7-hour one. It was just too expensive for the lower ones, I think. Let's go through all this. It takes its time. I think the servers have been lagging, to be honest with you. The tungsten, so 1.9 for that. So that, even like just bringing the tungsten and stuff, it just helps to take off the cost of what it took to refine. And then we've got the Bexalite last, which we're going to take once we hit this accept. 6 of that is going to cost, it's going to give us 46 grand. And so working all this lot out, we made around 86,000, and then if you take off the 9,000 for the refine, we made about 77,000 altogether. So if I look at my numbers, we started off with 477,700 and we've got 563,000. So that works out about 86,000 or something like that. Yeah, so about 77,000 we earned on that run. Now, they all sort of bring in the same amount of money. They all take around the same amount of time to do. It's just that you've got to navigate yourself to Walla or any planets for mining, and then so you're not really in a real safe area. You're going to have to really get out of there. Whereas if you're mining around the space stations like L5 or L2, at least you're right near the space station, so you can quickly get to it if you need to. And also then coming out of your space station, if you fill up really fast on a rock, you can go straight back there, empty it, and then come straight back out. Whereas if you're down on the planet, you've got to come all the way back to the space station refinery, and then all the way back down to the planet. So I would opt for one of the space station ones. Now, with what happened with the L5, the cost of time for the refining was just way too much. I never picked up something that was enough to cover the extra bonuses you got with the refine bonus. So I think for myself, the best area was L2. We got the most profit. It was around the best time for the mining. We was close to the refinery. We got some really good stuff there with the laser and stuff like the mining head and stuff like that. And we got some really good bonuses with the gold when we got the gold. And we made the most money. So for me, I think L2 was the best one, and that's what I would go with going forward in the future, and L2 being one of the best ones to go to for mining around, and just go point click mining. So just come out of L2, point in a direction, and then just mine basically. So that's what I would do. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw up a set of pages for the pros and cons, and then you can see that yourself, and then we'll end up this video. So I'm going to go over the pros and cons and give my little explanation on them. So L5, the pros are it's far away from planets, so you're not going to get many people there, so you're going to be quite safe in that area. It's got some really good refine bonuses, but you're going to really need the rocks for that. It's got all the asteroid types there as well, and there's a refinery nearby, and you're going to be mining in safety. So because you're near the space station, you're going to be mining near that, you're in quite near safety. So that's the pros for that. The cons are it's far away from the planet, so if you do want to go planet mining, it's going to be a lot more to do. You are far away from a selling location because you're in the middle of nowhere, and the mining modules are not brilliant there. And when I did the refining, it was 7 hours, so really long refine time there. And again, asteroids that are invisible and you're just smashing into, the same as L2, so that it just puts you an unease when you're mining around that area. And also some clusters don't work when you're around that area, so when you get like clusters of 3 or 4, sometimes they don't work. And so we're going to L2. Now L2 seems to be my favourite. I seem to like L2 a lot more. You're near a space station, it's got really good gold refine bonuses. Most of the asteroids are there, there's just 2 types that are not. The refinery nearby, mining near safety, again like in L5. And so you're just mining around that area, so if you do get somebody come along, you are really close to safety. You're really close to a selling point in Area 18, and you're close to a planet nearby for planet mining as well if you want to planet mine. And there seems to be quicker refining bonuses. It seemed to be quicker refining there as well. I think it was around 2 hours for the same price as it was at L5, and so the refining was a lot quicker. And there's some really good mining modules and mining head there. That's where you can get the Helix 1 head from as well, and the filters that I used. The cons are not all asteroid types are there. There's 2 that are not. It's not the best refining bonuses. Only gold is the best one. Some of the clusters again don't work when you get to 3 or 4 clusters, and you have invisible asteroids that you can smash into. So again, you're going to be really cautious about the area because of the invisible asteroids when the servers are lagging. But that said, L2 seems to be my favourite. I seem to be able just to go out of the space station and just mine, and that's the one that I earned the most money from. I think I earned 10,000 more than I did the other 2. So let's move over to Walla, the planet mining. The pros of that is there's more clusters of rocks. You're seeing a lot more rocks. There's less individual rocks and more of clusters of them. So you're going to get more opportunity to get better stuff. You can hide away from common locations, so you can drop into like near a mining area and then fly away from that, so you don't become seen on people's radars and stuff like that. There's no invisible rocks to smash into, so you can move around quite easily and not be afraid. And there's, like I said, there's more top tier common ore around, so because there's more clusters, you seem to hit the top tier stuff easier. So the cons of the Walla, or any planet one, is it's far away from a refinery and far away from safety. So once you do fill up, if you filled up really quick, say the first rocks you came to, you filled up, you've got to then head back to the space station. Whereas with a space station, once you fill up, you're right next to the space station anyway. So there is that. You're far away from safety as well, like I say. You could jump to a little mining town or something like that, but again, you're in the middle of nowhere and you're going to get caught out, I think, a little bit more. You have to travel to get there and have to travel to get back. Again, that travel time is about 3 or 4 minutes to get there, whereas you could already be filled up around the space station. You could already have mined and been filled up and be ready to head back at a space station. And the other con is there's a lot more bigger rocks, so for a solo miner in a prospector, you're going to find a lot more bigger rocks that are just harder to mine for yourself. And so I think the planet mining is best for the bigger ships like the Mole. And again, same with the massive asteroid belt or the Aran belt. I think that's more for the multiple miner, the multi-crew miner. So that's my pros and cons of that. I prefer Ark L2. They all sort of earned the same amount of money. The mining time was around the same for them all, but I just think Ark L2 just offers a little bit more for safety and stuff like that, and just ease of mining. So that's why I always go to that one, and that's one I'll probably just continue to do. And so hopefully you got something from this, guys. And yeah, there's my thoughts on it. Let me know yours in the comment section. What have I missed? Is there something blatantly obvious that I've not done? And tell me your thoughts. I'm earning a good 80 to 100,000 every time I go out and come back. Sometimes I might even hit Quantanium, and then I could be earning like 250,000. So yeah, so there's always really good rocks and stuff to get with this mining. So yeah, so we hope you like this video, guys. If you did, don't forget to hit that point, to tickle that like button, hit the bell and subscribe notification as always, guys, if you want to see more. And yeah, so we'll see you guys out in the verse.